Desiree here. So, research shows that when you're faced with high risk situations like anger, anxiety, social pressure to drink or use, people are either going to successfully utilize their coping skills or they're going to fail to cope, obviously. So, it's in these tempting situations that people are most likely to relapse. And while these have been identified as the most common relapse determinants, not everybody has the same triggers. So it's going to be important for you to develop some coping skills that are going to help you to overcome your temptations in these areas where your triggers to use are the strongest. So it can be really helpful to identify the times where you're really tempted to use alcohol or other drugs. And by recognizing these trigger situations ahead of time, you have more of a chance to avoid or alter them when they happen. So I want you to pick the category in which you would be the most tempted to use alcohol or drugs. You can also write down some specific examples, and then I want you to think about how confident you are on a scale of 0 to 5, where 0 is I'm not at all confident and 5 is extremely confident that I am not going to use when I'm facing this high-risk situation. And be honest with yourself on this. So pick the category that best completes the sentence for you. I am the most tempted to use when I'm experiencing blank. So that would either be negative emotions, positive or social situations, physical pain, or withdrawals, cravings, or urges. Those would be the 4 categories. So I'm the most tempted to use when I'm experiencing one of those 4 categories. And then I want you to write down on your sheet of paper some ways to alter your behavior when you're experiencing a trigger situation, and also some ways to avoid that. So, for example, avoiding the situation by leaving places where other people are encouraging alcohol or other drug use. Avoiding the situation by relating less often to people who contribute to your use of alcohol or other drugs. Altering the situation by maybe connecting with somebody who can help you sort through things and calm down. Altering the situation by practicing mindfulness, slowing your breathing down, or intentionally relaxing. Altering the situation by putting things around your home or workplace that remind you to not engage in alcohol or other drug use. So it's going to be helpful for you to write down suggestions for the category that's personally the most tempting for you. So if that category is physical pain, you could try physical therapy or going to a chiropractor, acupuncture, acetaminophen or ibuprofen, meditation, taking a hot bath or a hot tub, heating pads, icy hot patches, or even a thing of ice. If you are tempted when you're experiencing negative emotions, some things that you could do are to meditate, talk to someone, going to an NA or an AA meeting, going to a group therapy session, doing something that you enjoy doing instead, or practicing thought stopping, which is stopping that negative thought and then turning it into a positive, trying to think positively. If social or positive situations tempt you the most, some things you can do is just don't go. Plan ahead. Take a sober partner with you or somebody to hold you accountable. Carry a cup with you so people don't offer you anything. If you carry something around with you, people are less likely to ask you if you want something to drink. Tell people up front that you're just not using. Take a substitute. Sweet tea, mints, hard candy, something. Offer an alternative. So, hey, instead of going to the bar, let's go to the park today instead. And if they're your real friend, they'll take the suggestion. And if you're tempted by cravings or urges, some things you can do to alter these situations are to use a substitute or an alternate, like hard candies to quit smoking or soda instead of a beer. You can take a 10-minute or 20-minute timeout. You can call a friend, a sponsor, a counselor in those situations. Do something to distract yourself or delay your use. Sometimes telling yourself, no, I'm not going to use for the next 30 minutes will help you to get through that physical craving, because the physical cravings typically last only 10 to 15 minutes.